Hi everyone, my name is Tshegofatso. For those of you who don't know me, I am Nonhli's firstborn son. For the past few months, you have held my mother's hand as she's walked this very tough road that is called cancer. We thought it might be fruitful for you to hear from one of her children. Like I said, I am the firstborn, but I have two younger brothers as well, Rulani and Goli. I'm not really going to run through the entire story again because, like I said, you've been on this journey for the most part, and she has kind of walked you through everything from the diagnosis up to this point now. But we thought it might be quite helpful for you to hear from the perspective of her child. Firstly, I'd like to give a great big thank you to all of you. It has been a journey that is extremely tough. It has had a lot of ups and downs. As I speak to you now, my mother's actually laying in bed in extreme pain. Moments like these and others have been extremely scary, have been extremely tough, but the support that we have had from a lot of you has meant the world to us. Whether it's a text, whether it's a call, or whether it's been donating to her foundation now, it all means way more than you can ever imagine. So, cancer. Anyone who knows my mother knows that she loves her kids. And anyone who knows me or my brothers know that we love our mother. The one thing she's done is ensure that as a unit, the four of us are extremely close. And over the years, that love has grown more and more potent. And as a single mother, she has had to face a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, and a lot of struggle to give my brothers and I the life that we have had. And so cancer was truly the last thing on our minds, and it was the last thing we needed. Like I said, I won't run through all of it, but I think it's important that I tell you guys the moment our lives changed. So after my mother had gone for the mammogram and all of that, she was sitting in her bedroom on the one Friday and her phone began to ring. She saw that it was the doctor's office calling, and so she quickly called my brothers and I before she answered, and we stood there all around her as she answered the phone. She answered the phone and she put it on speaker, and then the words that changed our lives came. The doctor said, "Unfortunately, Miss Sephula, you have been diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 2. Suddenly the room was quite quiet. I actually believe the doctor said, "Are you still there?" And she said, yes, I'm just trying to process it. After my mother wrapped up the call, she lay down on her bed and she started crying. She let out a huge wailing sound, a great big cry, and she laid there weeping as my brothers and I stood around her. Now you must understand, for my brothers and I, we were watching the woman that we love. We were watching our queen come face to face with death, and there was nothing that we could do about it. And so we did basically all that we could do in the moment, which is just stay there with her and cry with her. Feel the moment with her, sit with her, and take in this huge shock. Thereafter we left her alone, and we let her process everything on her own, and we went outside. And I remember speaking to my brothers, and I told them, "Man, you guys are extremely strong. I'm quite shocked at how strong you are for young men." But I told them to not stomach anything. It was a Friday, and so I said, take this weekend to truly process everything. Take this weekend to cry as much as you need to cry, because on Monday we have to get up and we have to wipe those tears away, and we have to go to war. I told them that our queen had been attacked, and that as her sons, as her soldiers, we had to put on our armor, we had to grab our weapons, and we had to go to battle with her. And honestly, for the past few months, that's all we've been doing. As her sons, we have tried our utmost best to support her as much as we can, to show as much care as we can, to show as much empathy as we can, and to build up her faith and her hope as much as possible. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it's been easy. It's been very, very difficult at points. It's still a shock to the system every now and again, but it is something that was given to us, and I believe for a purpose. It was very hard to see the purpose back then, but now as time goes on, as I see what has become of us as a family and what has become of us as individuals, it is very clear that this was harsh but not a mistake. Funnily enough, a lot of the time God will give you a new sight, God will give you a new perspective and a new vision, but that new sight will only come in the dark. Like Paul, who went blind for a few days so he could truly see, I believe this cloud of darkness that is cancer has given my family and I new sight, and it has given us a new perspective on life. We have learned not only how strong we are, but we have learned the true value and true profit of life, so to say. We've learned three major things, and firstly I'd say we've learned about the grace of God and how God works. Our faith has never been stronger. In the midst of this terrible time, we have never reached as much joy, as much hope, and as much gratitude ever before in our lives. It's funny that it's this darkness that took us truly living out the lightness that is in us. Secondly, we've learned that we are here on this earth to live a life of servitude. So often as people, we go around asking, what's for me? Asking, where's my portion? Asking, what can I gain? But this cancer experience has somewhat changed our mindset as a family. Instead, now we ask, who can we help and how can we help? Instead, now we say, how can we be of service? We have started to appreciate the littlest of things. I mean, just sitting and having dinner together feels like we've won the lottery. All these little things that we took for granted, all of these little things that we always said, we can do that tomorrow, we can do that next week. Now we truly take in those moments and we sit there, no longer living in the past or frustrated about the future, but being able to truly sit in this moment, to sit at the dinner table, to sit in front of the TV and look at one another and come close to tears, simply because we are blessed enough to have one another. And so we've learned that it's important to serve not only your family but your community as well, and everyone you're blessed enough to engage with in your time here on earth. And the third thing we've learned is relationships and the power of relationships and love. We have never been more unified as a family, and we have never seen the grace, the favor, the gem that is love more than now. So often as human beings we tell each other, I love you, I'll be there for you, this and that, but this experience has, and sometimes it's been painful, but it has taught us that some of the people who say that don't necessarily mean it. And it has taught us that when we do say it, we truly need to mean it. It's shown us that things such as wealth and popularity and fame and all of that is temporal, it's seasonal. It comes and goes and it will forever come and go, but it doesn't quite matter in the face of darkness. It doesn't quite matter in the face of something like cancer. What really matters, what truly matters is your relationships. And when I say relationships, it could be familial, it could be romantic, it could be friendships. Those things are truly the fruit of life. Those things are truly what make life count, and so often we let things such as pride and ego or shame and guilt harden us and keep us from receiving and giving out love. But this experience has taught me and my family that really, what else is there? What else is there? Like I said, the rest is temporal. It's very nice to have a shiny car, to have a great big house. It's nice to have stuff, but in the face of important things, in the face of darkness, it's the relationships that count. And so I'd like to thank you all once again for your support. And as funny as it sounds, this cancer has been extremely challenging, but it has given us more pros than cons. And so when you look at us, I pray that you won't feel sorry for us, but instead I pray that you will hold hands with us and help us to help other people. On that note, as you must know by now, my mother has started the Resima Foundation. And I can't tell you how excited I am for you guys to see how many lives she's about to change. I can't tell you how refreshing it is and how inspiring it is to see her take this great big challenge and turn it into something fruitful. My mother has always been a go-getter. She's always been a passionate person, but I've never seen her as driven. I've never seen her as purpose-driven. And so, like I said, through this darkness, God has given us much sight. And don't cry for us, because I truly believe that cancer has chosen the wrong family. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you soon.